Three of the biggest names in world football are starting to push back, and it has nothing to do with a referee decision or a missed penalty. Spain, Argentina, and Brazil, three teams built to go all the way at this World Cup, are facing something that has nothing to do with tactics. It's the tournament itself. The schedule, the heat, the sheer size of this competition is becoming a talking point inside camps that are supposed to be focused on nothing but winning. So, what exactly is going on? And why are the favorites suddenly the ones sounding the alarm? Let's get into it. This World Cup was always going to be different. 48 teams, 16 host cities, 3 countries, and a tournament that now stretches 39 days instead of the usual 32. For the teams expected to go deep, that means an extra match nobody had to play before. Finalists used to need 7 wins to lift the trophy. This year, it's 8. Add to that the weather. Stadiums in Atlanta, Houston, Miami, and several Mexican cities sit in some of the hottest, most humid conditions a World Cup has ever been played in. Climate researchers warned months before kickoff that a large chunk of matches could hit dangerous heat stress levels. FIFA's answer was mandatory 3-minute hydration breaks in every match, no matter the temperature, no matter whether the stadium has a roof or air conditioning. That decision is where a lot of this tension started. Spain head coach Luis de la Fuente said before his team's draw with Cape Verde in Atlanta that the breaks made sense in real heat, but felt unnecessary inside a cooled stadium. It's a small comment, but it points to a bigger frustration. Teams feel like they're being managed by a blanket rule instead of the actual conditions in front of them. Here's where things get interesting. Spain are the top-ranked team in this tournament. Argentina are the defending champions, with Lionel Messi chasing one last World Cup before he's done. Brazil are still searching for their first title since 2002, now under Carlo Ancelotti. These are 3 teams with everything to play for, and all 3 have already felt the toll of this format in different ways. Messi has been managing muscle fatigue concerns that follow him from club football into this tournament. Brazil arrived missing key attacking pieces, with Estevan ruled out before the tournament even began, and Rodrigo gone for the year with a torn ACL. Both injuries picked up during a brutal closing stretch of club football just weeks before the World Cup kicked off. It's not heat that caused those specific injuries, but it's the same root problem players' unions have been warning about for years. There is simply too much football packed in the too little recovery time, and now an expanded World Cup adds another layer on top. If you're finding this breakdown useful, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because there's a lot more to unpack here. This matters because it's not just one team complaining about one rule. FIFPro, the Global Players Union, along with several domestic player associations, raised concerns about workload well before this tournament even started. Their argument is straightforward. Many of these players go from a long club season straight into international duty summer after summer, with almost no real off period to recover. The expanded format with 16 extra teams and 40 extra matches compared to the last World Cup was always going to intensify that problem for any nation that wins consistently. The bigger issue is that heat and schedule congestion don't hit every team the same way. A side like Tunisia, used to hot climates, may handle the conditions differently than a European team that trains in cooler weather most of the year. But for teams like Argentina and Brazil, used to South American heat but not South American humidity, layered with a North American travel schedule, the adjustment is its own challenge. Spain, meanwhile, has to manage a roster full of players who just finished a demanding club season in Europe. Compare this to past tournaments. The 1994 World Cup, also held in the United States, is still remembered for brutal heat in cities like Dallas, where temperatures push past 100 degrees during matches. FIFA learned from that experience by scheduling more evening kickoffs this time around. But evening games alone don't solve everything when humidity stays high well after sunset, and they do nothing to reduce the number of matches a title contender has to survive. This is also why the hydration break debate keeps resurfacing. Netherlands captain Virgil van Dijk pointed out after his team's draw with Japan that the breaks sometimes feel more like commercial windows than genuine player protection, especially in matches played in fully climate-controlled stadiums. Whether or not that's the intention, the perception itself is becoming a story. And it's coming from inside locker rooms, not just outside critics. Think about it from a player's perspective. You've trained your whole life for one tournament. You finally arrive in peak form, and now you're managing extreme heat in one city. A freezing flight to the next. 3-minute breaks that interrupt your rhythm. And the knowledge that if your team keeps winning, you'll be playing one more match than any World Cup winner in history ever had to play before. That's the reality for Spain, Argentina, and Brazil right now, sitting in different groups but facing the exact same set of problems. For fans, this changes the experience too. Supporters traveling across 3 countries are dealing with the same wild temperature swings as the players, just without the medical staff and ice baths waiting for them at the hotel. Atmosphere inside stadiums also shifts when hydration breaks interrupt momentum right as crowds are building toward a roar. It's a different kind of World Cup experience, and not everyone is convinced it's a better one. Quick reminder, if you want more World Cup breakdowns like this one through the rest of the tournament, subscribing is the easiest way to stay caught up. Now, let's talk about where this could be heading. The best case scenario here is fairly simple. Teams adapt, rotation becomes smarter, and the extra matches end up being a non-issue by the time we reach the knockout rounds. FIFA has already shown some flexibility by shifting kickoff times away from the hottest part of the day in several cities. And coaches across this tournament are clearly building hydration breaks into their tactical planning rather than fighting them. The more concerning scenario is that fatigue becomes a defining storyline of the back half of this tournament. If Spain, Argentina, or Brazil go deep, which all 3 are fully capable of doing, their squads will be carrying more total minutes than any previous World Cup winner by the time the final arrives on July 19th. A slight dip in sharpness during a quarterfinal or semifinal, the kind that comes from accumulated fatigue rather than any single bad performance, could end up deciding who actually lifts the trophy. FIFA will likely point to its heat protocols and scheduling adjustments as proof the tournament has been handled responsibly. Player unions will likely keep pushing the same point they've made for years, that the calendar itself needs structural change, not just in-season patches. Both things can be true at once, and that tension probably isn't getting resolved before this World Cup ends. So, here's where we land. 3 of the most decorated football nations on Earth are quietly raising the same concern in different ways. Not about opponents, but about the conditions of the tournament itself. The heat, the hydration break debate, and a tougher road to the final than any previous World Cup is required are all colliding at the exact moment these teams need to be at their absolute best.